that's who I want to be, that Liz that does something so valid that people do want to learn it. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to do something so good that it's just got to be shared with the world because it helps make the world a better place also. And like, if I can be a person that does something valuable enough for that, of course, that's tied into my personal trauma of value from stuff that you produce, which is still something I'm working on now. But
if I'm not producing, then I'm not valuable.
Yeah, I think that is very much a tattooer thing. Like that's underlying for pretty much all tattooers. So
Liz Cook, thank you for being on the podcast. I reached out because I just see you popping up in my Instagram notifications. You're like commenting on my stuff and you're liking it and you're sharing it. And I was like, man, I so admire everything that you're up to in tattooing. You're bigger and beyond just doing amazing tattoos. You're really giving back and contributing to the tattoo industry. And so I was like, let's have Liz on the podcast and hear more about that. So thank you so much for taking me up on the offer.
I am so excited to actually get to sit down and talk with you. Like you're saying, I comment a lot because I am seeing your stuff all the time. And I love what you're doing. And I love the reach that you have with tattooers out there. If we can contribute to build up the industry, and how do we do that, and what you're doing right now and helping people, and also staying in alignment with the things for you that are true to you, that's something that is so obvious to me in all of your posts and everything that you put out there. And every time I see it, I'm so equally motivated to just keep on doing what I'm doing and align myself with my true values. So it's so exciting. Every time I see one of your posts, I'm just like, yeah, get it, Ryan, do it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're no, thank you. I'm blushing. Really, like, as soon as I started seeing, I was like, wow, Liz like that. That's cool. I was like, I notice it every single time. And it just, and like any tattoo artist, when people just comment, literally anyone, I think sometimes people think, I don't know, that you can't make a difference or make someone's day a little bit brighter. But it means so much. Even after doing this for years and building a following and all that stuff, like I notice every person that DMs me or comments and says, this really helped me out, or this is awesome, keep it up, because I also get a lot of not that. I also get a lot of people commenting all kinds of stuff, and you have to push through that to share your authentic message, even if not everyone's going to like it, knowing that it is going to help some people, and those are the people that I do it for.
Yeah, absolutely. And now being in the industry for over 20 years and not really coming from a super traditional background, even getting into the industry, I started with permanent makeup and traditional art education, which was not really in alignment with where the industry was at when I came in. And so
I remember like when there first started to become art school tattooers, that was like so shunned upon for a while. Now it doesn't seem like that's such a big deal anymore. I don't know. People are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Maybe you should go to school to learn how to make art. I don't know. But
yeah. There's still people out there that are anti, like very supportive of the original kind of vibe of tattooing and the pirate style. And you comment about this all the time as far as like, you just cannot be a pirate anymore and like run a business and have credit and do these other things. So I think that was something that coming into tattooing, I never had those as limiting beliefs to start with.
I love that we're just diving right into limiting beliefs right now. That's
favorite topic. I mean, it is really such, mindset is always going to be like your starting point. Even in my courses, it is my number one first lesson in, my chapters is like, having this mindset, what that looks like, what I did for myself kind of coming up and how I took that information in and how I did it in a way that was actually productive and not just beating myself up when something wasn't right or,
How do you describe mindset? Because I feel like it's such a kind of a broad term, a vague term. How would you describe it to someone that's like, what do you mean by mindset?
I guess the fastest way would be like your positive kind of outlook on stuff. and
Well,
how,
you could also have a negative mindset.
well, right. And that's kind of like not knowing those things and how a negative mindset can be turned into a positive mindset. It would be like, how do we create a positive mindset with anything? And a lot of the times, even starting with a negative mindset can so easily be switched over to the other side of things of like, this is really just information that you're receiving, which is actually a good thing, because not getting information is where you can easily get stuck. So receiving information is how you can very easily get to the next level.
Well, I'm so curious to hear about your courses and also how you help people switch mindset or improve or expand. Because I don't like to look at it as good or bad or even negative or positive. It's just there's something that's available to you with one, and I look at it as like perspective. So if I'm going to describe mindset to someone, I look at it like, imagine you're on a hike and you get to the top of a hill, right? And then you see this other hill up ahead of you. And that's all you can see is this big obstacle. But then you hike through the obstacle and you get to the top of the next one. And all of a sudden you have this whole new perspective and you see, oh, wow, there's a farm over there. Oh, wow, there's a city over there. Oh, there's all these other places I could go, where before all we could see was the obstacle in front of us.
Right.
And I like metaphors to help
I love metaphors.
break it up into what mindset is. It's just a perspective, and from one perspective, and we can call it a negative mindset. But I just like that's an opinion.
That in itself is a limiting belief.
Yeah. It's just there's certain things you can see that are available to you, and then if we were to expand that perspective and kind of get above that, all of a sudden there's a new world available to you from this new perspective, this new mindset. And that's how I like to explain it to people.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on the money. And we could easily talk for hours and hours about mindset. And I mean, people do. There's plenty of coaches out there. There's plenty of people that have talked about mindset for all industries. And I think for tattooing, it's still so young as far as like that kind of background of like,
oh my God, it's an infant.
It is. It absolutely is an infant. And there's been so much room for growth, but even from the standpoint of, how do we take mindset and go to the next kind of level, and what is the next level, and how does my next level look different from someone like you or somebody that's just getting into the industry right now, or has an art background versus not having an art background, and where do you want to go? Because ultimately the real question is, how do you align that with yourself, and how do you ask the questions of yourself to break down limiting beliefs and get what you really want to get out of it? And I think for artists, especially anybody coming into this industry, we have so much imposter syndrome and so much trauma that has already led us to this direction. So
I would say, I don't feel like you get into tattooing because you don't have any trauma.
Exactly. So part of, and I think that's such a great thing too, is in the just infinite wisdom of the universe and all of our paths and our journeys that we have, each of us that comes into tattooing has this journey that we're on. And part of figuring out what our style is, figuring out what we like to tattoo, figuring out how we like to talk to clients, how we want to set up our studios or our stations even, is so much on that path of who are you and who do you want to be, and also remembering that person that you want to be already does exist. And now you're just making everything in your current present life align with that existence.
Man, we are kindred spirits. I didn't even realize that we would end up talking about this, but I'm so glad that we are. And I want to hear about what you teach. What you have, some courses or education. What is? Tell me more. I'm going to get right back to this podcast, but just a quick marketing tip that most tattooers don't know is studies have shown that at any given time, roughly 3 to 5% of your Instagram followers are ready to buy from you right now, and another 20% would likely buy from you in the next 6 months. So if you're a tattoo artist with over 1,000 followers on Instagram, you're probably sitting on a ton of potential clients that you're just not tapping into. So I want to show you a repeatable process for gaining more followers and turning them into clients quickly, often within 24 hours. If that sounds interesting to you, just hit the link in the caption below, schedule a one-on-one marketing strategy session, and as soon as you book it, I will immediately send you a pre-session assignment to do. You can start doing this today to book more tattoos before your strategy session. Now, I do charge a small fee for this, and I'm going to give you my 10x guarantee. You might be wondering, what the fuck is that, Ryan? So basically, if you don't feel like this assignment and the one-on-one session was worth 10 times what you paid for it, I will give you a full refund. No questions asked. You have nothing to lose. I know as soon as you do this assignment alone, you're going to know that it was worth 10 times what you paid for it. I've already had hundreds of tattooers sign up and tell me that. So if for any reason you are not satisfied, I'm happy to refund you. Now, if you're not willing to step outside your comfort zone when it comes to social media marketing, this is probably not for you. But if you're tired of struggling on social media and you want a repeatable way to attract new clients during any season, then hit that link below, get all the details, and schedule a marketing strategy session. All right, back to the podcast.
Yeah, so candid color has been the kind of theme for seminars that I've taught for a really long time. And now it is putting all of those together and really deep diving into stuff. So one of the setbacks for workshops and seminars that I've done in the past is that I felt it was never enough. I really wanted to connect with people and help change their life and transform them and be a part of getting to see what was this magical kind of moment for them where stuff changed. And the seminars, as much as I love them and connecting with people, it just wasn't enough. And so the Candid Color coaching and the courses that are in there was really the opportunity to start having all of that information and all of the stuff where I'm just like, I need a place to put everything that's magical that happens just on the daily. I need to put it somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then when someone asks, oh, actually, I have a chapter on this here. This might actually be really good for you. So the fundamentals of the Candid Color coaching is about one, mindset. So I have a system called the Go-Getter Loop, and it really is based off of loops that we have out there of like setting goals, going and taking action, coming back and having reflection and getting feedback and data, and then turning all of that information into some kind of win-win that you can then grow from and set your next goals based on how it aligns with you. So that is something that's built into every single chapter, every single course, every single exercise. And then it's broken down into two kind of parts of one where it's very purely just how do you tattoo like Liz? And that really represents the spectrum of realism. And within that, it's finding your style and where you want to tattoo on that spectrum, how that changes over time. And then part two is the business element of it and how to talk to clients, how to do all of that, but then also how to align yourself with each of those moments as you're charging more, as you're changing your portfolio, as you're changing your style, and having that growth be built in that's not something scary, and also something that can change as the trends change, as social media changes, as website changes. Because even in the last, 10, 20 years, like when I started, it was MySpace, and then it was Facebook, and then it was Instagram, and then it's TikTok, and we don't know what's going to be next. And right now, there's a lot of tattooers that are very doing a great job of capitalizing on TikTok and these trends and stuff right now, but we know it's not going to stay that way. Yeah. And what happens is you're riding this wave and you're high on it, and then something changes, and you're like, what the hell do I do now? So it's taking that whole kind of like as things change and keeping you aligned with what your mission and your purpose is. And then also when you don't know what your mission and your purpose is, finding it.
Yeah, I always tell you have to have some vision that you're living into. And I like to describe it like your experience of your life right now, the present moment, is always going to be given to you by the future that you are living into. So a
Absolutely.
great way to explain, a great metaphor is you're at the shop and you're tattooing and, someone's breathing down your neck and the client's being difficult, but you're in the best mood in the world because tomorrow you're flying out and you're going to be on a beach drinking drinks with little umbrellas in them for a whole week. Nothing in that moment could make you feel down because the future you're living into is this exciting, wonderful, relaxing world, right?
Exactly.
And then fast forward a week, you're sitting on the beach and your feet are in the sand and the water is rolling up against your toes and you've got that drink in your hand and you're stressed because you're about to go back to the shop tomorrow and you've got all these appointments and emails that you didn't respond to and all this stuff. And so where you are right now is not causing your experience in the present moment. It is whatever the future that you are living into. And so that's why having a vision is so important, because it's directly the minute you get clear on the vision for your next year or your next 10 years that you're committed to creating, it immediately impacts you in the present moment, your experience of life right now.
Yes. So just, oh my God, like I couldn't have said it better myself. It's so absolutely true. And I mean, even outside of our industry, anybody, anywhere, it's really
Absolutely.
hard for people to live one in the present moment, but also live with a vision and what is coming next and what they do get to look forward to. When I was little, like a 5-year-old, Christmas was coming and that anticipation of it almost being was always, God, eventually I learned how not to get so excited about it and just like enjoy, like I'm just enjoying these moments until it gets there. And then when it gets there, I know I'm going to, be so present in that moment and really be excited about it. But even that simple little lesson of just like dragging out that anticipation and like every day the magic that was building up, those are things that I've also built into my life now as an adult, of like when people are asked like, are you excited about this convention? I'm like, yeah, but I'm here right now and I'm really excited about all these projects that I have working on, and I'll be excited about that when I get there. I'm not even thinking about that right now because I'm right here.
Yeah, I have not taken your course, but just in the 5 minutes or so that we've been talking, I'm going to take a guess that people that work with you, that obviously you're teaching about tattooing and color theory and the business of tattooing, I bet that when they get done with it, they say, this course helped me with my business and art, but it actually changed my life. Do they ever say that?
Yeah.
They do it all the time, right?
Right.
So I hear the same thing.
And you know that as a coach, that is really what it's about.
That's what it's about.
But
so I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, I tricked you all into getting life coaching. You came here to learn marketing, but you left with a whole new mindset, a whole new perspective of yourself and your business and the world around you. And I had one client tell me his wife said, she was like, you're a different person after taking this course. You're not just making more money. You're a whole different person. And I was like, that was the best compliment I ever got, was from someone's partner saying, you're internally a whole different being after going through this process. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so amazing, that ribbon of connection that flows through every industry and every moment and every kind of coach. Like when you're a coach, you can see that, like it connects to everything. And for me as a coach, these are the specific areas where I'm like, I'm going to talk to these people, just like you're going to talk to these people. And we know that on their journeys, that point of like entry into that transformation, it's going to be so many different kind of coaches and access points that they're going to get to that. And like, there are only things that I can say that are only going to connect to certain people. And there's only things that you could say that are only going to connect to certain people. And like that ribbon happens everywhere all the time. And it's really exciting to also see when students that I'm working with affect that change to other people that they happen to be working with that I wouldn't have had access to.
When did you, so you've been tattooing for over 20 years, is that right?
Yeah. Yep. 2003.
When did you kind of have this idea that maybe I want to do something more than just doing tattoos, which there's nothing wrong with just doing tattoos for the rest of your life. That's great. But there was a point in your life where you're like, I kind of want to teach, I want to educate, I want to make a bigger impact. When did that occur? When did that first occur for you?
Oh man, that has been like this cup that has been filling slowly over many, many, many years. And as I've, worked on my shadows and overcoming my limiting beliefs, eventually I was able to see that not only was the cup filled, but it was overflowing and had been overflowing for a long time. And that was part of such just a catalyst for this change. So when my daughter was born 5 years ago,
my daughter's also 5.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
She'll be 6 in November. Yeah.
Having kids, that's such a catalyst for change.
It's a big mindset shift when you have kids.
It is. It really is. And I knew before we had her that there was going to be some massive changes that I didn't know what they were, but I knew they were going to happen. And I had kind of just been putting it off. And then we were like, okay, we want to have a kid. We got to have a kid now. The clock is ticking. And then there was such a massive, just like everything stopped. It felt like at that point I was postpartum. There was COVID and we both had COVID babies. Yeah. And I was not tattooing. And then at this point, the physical change of my body and not being in that constant grind of tattooing every day was all of a sudden like, it was this cloud of stuff that used to be so clear for me as like, do this, you do this, then this happens. And that was like gone. And I could breathe, but also I didn't have this vision anymore. And there was this massive depression that set in and beating myself up and imposter syndrome and not being like that Liz Cook anymore. And also not being happy, just even the awareness of like, oh gosh, like it was such a change, but also I wasn't happy. And during that last 5 years of just really asking myself, where do I want to be in the next 5 years? What does that even look like? And at the beginning, I wasn't able to answer that question. I wasn't able to see my vision anymore. And at that point, it was like, okay, I need to really, really look at everything that I've done to this point and pick out all the parts that did align, that I would want to do again, and every little bit that make me cringe or be sad or be happy, like really take the time to separate all that stuff out and evaluate, truly evaluate.
Do you journal? Do you use like any journaling?
Yeah. I mean, I do now.
I feel like journaling was such a powerful tool that helped me separate those things. And because it's like a hurricane in my head. Yes. But then when
a good analogy. The hurricane in your head is so
when
true.
When I can lay it out on paper and just write, just let the thoughts go and just keep writing, this clarity would come from, it's like distilling it down. It's like a distillery, right? You've got this big tank of stuff and then drip by drip. And I remember like I had looked at maybe other people in the coaching space. So I've actually taken coaching programs from even my like late teens, early 20s. It made a huge impact on me. Communication, leadership, business coaching. But I would look at other people and I would almost be like cringe, like judgmental. And when I would write about it and I realized the reason I feel that way is because I wanted to do what they were doing. And rather than taking responsibility for the fact that I have this gift to offer and actually take action on it, it was easier, it was more comfortable for me to judge them.
Yep. Yeah.
Can you relate to that?
Oh, absolutely. My cringe, when I get the cringe, it means it's two things for me. It's either, exactly like what you said. I see somebody else doing something and it's where I want to be, or I feel like somebody is getting taken advantage of And that's such a like trigger for me, for people that for whatever reason don't have the ability at that time to be able to stand up for themselves or have whatever life they really want to have because they just don't have the means to be able to get there.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, that not just like tattooing. And I mean, obviously it's tattooing also, but that's across everything. So my cringe voice is definitely like either I want it or how can I help? Can I do anything to help?
That's actually really helpful for me because I've thought a lot about cringe for a while. Like it's a particular feeling. It's not.
Yeah.
It's its own unique thing.
It kind of
and
like
really
grabs you.
It does.
It's just like, hey, pay attention to this right now.
But you hate it, but you also can't stop paying attention to it. And so there's something interesting there. I always looked at cringe as my inner child is excited about something, but I also hear this sort of this like aversion to, or like I could do that better, or I can make an impact. My inner child's excited by something, but then my adult programming, my safe, whatever, play it safe, look cool, don't look stupid programming is shaming my inner child for being excited by that thing. And so that's how I've understood the feeling of cringe. What's actually going on inside of me when I feel that feeling?
Yeah. Totally agree.
So at some point you said, all right, I'm going to do seminar. You started with teaching seminars, right?
Yeah. Back in the day, I guess the original kind of cringe that was like the motivator for that was seeing, well, actually, let me go even further back because my first tattoo training was in permanent makeup. And the coach, which is still in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, was Sandy Harmon, which was I'm not sure if she still is, but she was the owner and founder of a line of permanent makeup pigment. And so I was able to do some free basic training through them. And one of the things that she had said was that something to the effect of, you get good at this, but eventually you're going to be sharing it with other people and you're going to be teaching them and building them up, to something to that effect. And it stuck with me forever. And it was such a like, oh man, yeah, that's who I want to be, that Liz that does something so valid that people do want to learn it. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to do something so good that it's just got to be shared with the world because it helps make the world a better place also. And like, if I can be a person that does something valuable enough for that, of course, that's tied into my personal trauma of value from stuff that you produce, which is still something I'm working on now. But
if I'm not producing, then I'm not valuable. And it's like, no, you're inherently valuable, whether you're producing or not. Yeah, I'm working on that too.
Yeah, I think that is very much a tattooer thing. Like that's underlying for pretty much all tattooers. So
yeah, I would say all artists. My mom is an artist. She's a painter and a sculptor and mixed media.
So you grew up with it.
Yeah. My mom is an artist and my dad's a philosopher. And so that played a big role in me becoming who I am. And my mom's 76 years old now, and she still makes art every single day. And we joke about it now. She said, it's produce or get out. Produce or get out. And at 76, she's been retired for over 10 years. She still has that produce or get out mentality that she's, still working on, but she's gotten a lot of freedom from it. And if you can see it, some of these old traumas, these old nervous system programs, it's like they don't ever fully go away.
Yeah.
But you don't wear them like a cloak anymore. You're like, they're hung up on the hook, and you can see them, and you're like, oh yeah, I see you. I don't have to come from this place anymore. You can almost laugh. When you can laugh at it, that's when you've got freedom around it.
For sure. And, laugh at it, make jokes about it, have the dark humor about it, the motivation, and
sick
absolutely.
Dark humor about it sometimes because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it any less real. So like someone once told me that feelings aren't facts, they're not the truth, but they're also not fiction.
Yeah.
right? They exist. They have a real impact, and recognizing that it isn't the truth, but there's some validity to it at the same time, helped create a framework that I had more freedom to feel what I feel, but not map the entire world as if that's just the inherent truth of reality.
Absolutely, man. Have you talked to my therapist lately?
So apparently 80% of listeners have not left a review or subscribed. And I'm going to get right back to the podcast in just a second. But if you have found this episode helpful and you think that other people would benefit from listening, then all I ask in return is please just leave a quick review and subscribe. It'll take just 1 minute, and it might help other tattooers and other artists find this podcast and help them out. So please, it would mean the world to me, and it might actually make a difference for someone else. Thanks.
Yeah, that was a new thing that I wish I would have done sooner. Was just having regular therapy sessions, even to just talk about.
Let's talk about therapy. Have you tried EMDR therapy?
No, and I think I've just started hearing about it, actually.
Okay,
recently.
I started hearing about it maybe a year ago, and then the therapist that I work with suggested that we give it a shot. It has been one of the most life-changing things. And I used to look at therapy as like not as impactful as something like coaching, but these past few years have been insane for me. Getting divorced, starting a business, getting remarried, all the insanity. EMDR therapy, the way she describes it, and we do this tapping thing where it deals with the left and right hemisphere of the brain, and essentially taking traumatic memories or feelings, it could be projections into the future as well, and then taking them out of a filing cabinet in your brain that is like a trauma cabinet, and refiling them in just like normal memories, normal things that don't stir up that feeling, that nervous system response. So it has to do with the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And so we do this tapping, and then she guides me into the traumatic feeling, memory, whatever it is. And then it just asks what comes up, and you kind of like digging it up. It's not fun. Yeah. Like it's not.
Yeah, exactly. None of that is fun.
None of it's fun, but doing it and I've been doing it for almost a year now. It has given me a tremendous amount of freedom in all areas of my life. Yeah.
So me and my therapist, she has introduced me to some of the tapping. I don't think it's been to that extent, but
yeah.
My awareness that I have, that absolutely makes sense. And even just the intention that you have going into it, when you explain it like that, you can visualize that kind of process and the intent of the visualizing that goes along with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's about. It's the intention. Just like when we're thinking about the vision of that future version that we want to be, it's the intention that is creating that path. And so when you're doing this, it's that intention of, let me take this out of here and put it in a spot where it's manageable.
Yeah.
And there's the awareness that I have of it now to be able to...
Right. It never fully goes away, but you get this perspective, this new mindset, where all of a sudden you're looking at it rather than looking from it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Therapy, of course, in all forms of therapy, is absolutely stuff I wish I would have done sooner. And there's not many things in my life that I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that sooner, because I do have that perspective of like, well, this is the journey and this is the path and all these things that I learned in the process.
Sure.
And I think
each one led us to the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer it happened exactly the way it needed to happen. There's no regret. But yeah, sure. I mean, had I started this process a year or 2 or 5 before, absolutely. So the best time to have started it was a year ago. The next best time is right now.
Absolutely. You're totally right. Yeah. I totally agree.
I feel like this conversation is taking all these fun turns that I did not anticipate, and I'm so glad it has. Bringing it maybe back to tattooing. I mean, it's all related. None of this is not related. But I'm curious, like, what do you feel has made the biggest difference for you as an artist, as a business professional? What are some of the golden nuggets maybe that we could share with people that have helped Liz become the version. I love how you referenced that version of Liz at some point. And I was going to say, like, you almost need to die to the old version of you needs to die. And it's terrifying. Oh my God. It's utterly.
Oh God, it's so terrifying.
It feels like death.
It does. And there were days that my husband would go to the shop and I'd be up walking around. And as soon as he'd leave, I'd go back to bed because of the depression that I was in at that moment and not knowing how to alleviate that pain.
What helped you move through that and back into a place of power of aligning your actions in your life with your goals?
I realized that, one, I couldn't do it on my own anymore from the standpoint of I had to give up control. Before, I was trying to control everything that I could do, how I thought about stuff, having my house organized and the perfectionism of everything. If I control all these things, I'll be fine.
The illusion of control.
The illusion of control and that conditional if. It was always if, and it was never in that moment. And when I finally was like, I'm done, I feel like by myself, I've done everything I can possibly do. I need to get help. So reaching out to my therapist was that initial kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I also knew I always like that, where do I want to be in 5 years? At that point, when I would ask that question, it was so just terrifying because I didn't know. And I didn't know how to answer it. And I had that hurricane in my head of, well, this, and what about this? And I don't know. And I just knew that wasn't a good place to be. And I needed to just give up control and go get help. And my therapist, I mean, like, it's crazy because she was the first one that I reached out to. And I just knew when I was calling her place, I had just given up to the universe. I was like, I don't know what I should be doing right now. And I'm just guide me. And whoever I choose, I know this person is going to be the person to help me.
I feel like that's like one of the most powerful prayers that anyone can offer is, I don't know, guide me.
Yes.
Just ask that, let go of everything. I don't have the answers. I don't have the solutions. And in fact, I'm not even interested in figuring them out anymore because that is driving me insane.
Yes.
Just guide me and show me the next step, and I will take that step, and I will trust that the next step will present itself when I do that, rather than trying to figure out 10 steps ahead
all the how,
and then never taking the first step.
Yes. So that really led into, okay, well, I just need to know what are the things that I want without any ifs and conditions, and just
the hows and the
like, we're not supposed to figure out the how. Like, the how's going to come to you. It's going to present itself. Yeah. And then you're just like, oh shit, that's way easier than if I would have just forced all of this. And as I've gotten more comfortable with just giving up with that aspect, all the things in my past life that I could see where I was forcing stuff and where it was so hard and where I was exhausting myself and then masking and not showing people this, all those things that I'm like, good riddance. That version can be dead. I don't want to be that anymore.
So that version died. We let go. We surrendered. We reached out for help. What happened next?
I had to put in the work and continuing to put in the work. But there were many sessions where I'm crying on the therapist's, couch and in my head, and the hurricane is there and it's messy. And then it just started getting easier. And the questions of where I wanted to be in 5 years, the answers started being there. And the journaling and the processing emotions and feelings and the cringe and putting that down someplace instead of allowing it to keep on living in the hurricane. That was when it really started changing. And I tell, everybody that I coach or talk to and validate the shit that they're going through, because everybody's always going through something. There's always that, whatever is on their mind right then and there, to be able to just give that validate and true validate. I mean, you can't validate somebody without a real insight or something that connects to that, right? So
no, people do need to be heard. They need to be heard. They need to be validated. Absolutely. Yeah.
And I mean, even with my daughter, of just the difference of raising her versus when I was a kid, and what's, that difference now. The picture that I get in my head when things are hard is I see my daughter, and then I see myself in my daughter's position of just like, if I would have been around when I was 5, when the trauma was happening, when shit was happening or whatever, what would I do? I would get down on my level and I would just, validate whatever that experience is and say, like, you're not alone, give me a big hug. Let's talk this out and figure out, like, how do you feel, and like being able to do that with my daughter, then it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do that with myself now. And I'm going to do that with my students. And I'm going to do that with anybody that I happen to just like have that connecting conversation with. Like, I'm just going to do that. Like, bring out the nurture, bring out the connection and the bond and stuff. And like that love that you have in those moments, whatever they are, talking to somebody on an elevator, like, damn, that is so addicting of a feeling of just like, wow, that goes beyond any of the work and the shadows that I have to process and get through. Like, that outcome is so fulfilling.
Are you speaking about like the impact that has on that person in that moment, or? Yeah,
whether it's that person or even just me, like there's something, it's that ribbon that I don't even know, like, divine maybe makes sense for a lot of people, but there's something that's like the journey and the path that you connect to in that moment that is so true, and doesn't matter all the like toppings on the cake and stuff like that. Like, none of it matters. It's this one moment of truth in these situations that you get to connect to that are just, they go beyond everything.
Yeah, I think another thing, what's coming up listening to you talk is I talk a lot about synchronicity. And, I was telling somebody the other day, I do not believe in coincidence at all.
No,
I believe, because I was talking to someone who they were doing some of the marketing tools I gave them, and they're like, I booked some more appointments. I'm not 100% sure if it came directly from that or what. And I said, look, I don't think it's a coincidence. When you put your attention and intention into growing an area of your life, whatever shows up, whether it feels directly related or indirectly related, that's the synchronicity presenting itself, and just trusting that, all right, I took action and I took a new action, and so I got a new result, and how and why and what is almost irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. What do you teach people now? I mean, obviously mindset's a big part of it, but are we in the course? So tell me, is the course like a online course?
Yeah.
Are you meeting with people every week?
Yeah, so it's a mentorship program that they get access to all the course lessons and exercises and resources, and then a weekly
What's
group
the outcome? Like, what do people come because they want a specific outcome? What's the outcome that they're coming for?
Advance themselves in their life, specifically through tattooing.
Yeah.
Get paid more. I mean, everybody starts with get paid more, get better.
Right. I always say everyone wants to make more money. I've never met someone that didn't want to make more money. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what kind of brings them in of like, okay, what are you charging? Are you charging enough? How do you do that? How do you talk to people?
What percentage of tattooers do you think are actually charging what they're worth?
Probably less than 20%. Are really charging what they're worth.
I would agree.
I would say it would be really low, and just because, I mean, tattooing attracts so much like imposter syndrome, and that imposter syndrome is such a, with that we have those limiting beliefs of, well, I can't charge this because the industry is doing this, and I'm in this small city and I'm here, and I got to tattoo these kind of projects because that's what people come to me for. It's limiting belief after another. And I mean, it is the topping on the cake of like, well, how much are you charging?
I see a lot of tattooers. I've seen posts of shops saying, hey, we're lowering our price or we're lowering our minimum. And I look at that and I see it as it's a Band-Aid that's not solving the actual, it's a symptom of a problem that you're avoiding solving the problem, which is let's generate more attraction and more demand for what we do. But rather than generate the attraction and demand, we're just going to lower the barrier of entry, making it easier for more people to come in. And that's just a race to the bottom. That's all I can see.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That was what was totally in my head right now. I'm just like, it is a race to the bottom. And especially from the manufacturing side, those are things that we're always talking about of like, is this a race to the bottom? How are we having a high-end product or a luxury product or a mid-level product and stuff like how does that really fit in? And the conversation always comes down to, well, let's not do a race to the bottom.
And then what they tell me is like, well, the other artists at my shop or the other artists around here, they only charge this amount. And I'm like, okay, so you're comparing your prices to someone else who's also undercharging. And you're using that as a gauge as to what your value is, rather than you dictating what your value is and asking for what you're actually worth. You're using a broken ruler to figure out how far away something is.
Yeah, for sure.
Where's that going to get you?
Exactly. Yeah, and when you start telling artists and start painting that picture, like, here, let me give you that clarity of what you're really saying. It's there's the two things that happens where it either hits them over the head and they're just like, oh my God, okay, let me listen to more of what you have to say. Or it's like, oh, I'm really like this doesn't make any sense. And that's when you get that other side of it of like, you're crazy and you're this, and you're like, okay, well, you can be stuck in your limiting belief, but the truth is like, there's tattooers out there that are doing 10-minute tattoos and charging thousands of dollars for a 10-minute tattoo and being successful and killing it on social media and stuff like that. Like, there's no rules really when it comes to this. It is what you want to make it.
There are no rules, period. There are no rules. And I feel like the tattoo industry comes with these preconceived rules. But you're like, who wrote the rules?
Yeah.
Did Sailor Jerry write the rules? No, he didn't write them. Did someone before him write them? No. These rules don't actually exist. There are no fucking rules. You can just do stuff, and no one can stop you except yourself.
Preach.
I remember the first time I charged over $1,000 for a tattoo session, and I felt like I went through puberty again. Like my voice cracked. I was like, I'm in 1,300. I couldn't get the words out. And so what I did was I went to a mirror. I looked in the mirror and I just practiced saying, okay, so we did about 5 hours. I charged $200 an hour. So that'll be $1,000. Or, I charged $200 an hour. We did 7 hours. So that'll be $1,400. And I just practiced saying it, like literally getting my muscles in my mouth to say the thing out loud without sounding awkward or weird or uncomfortable. And that alone helped me communicate my price. It was like, it sounds silly, but I swear to God it works. And if anyone's listening to this and you're feeling hard when, there's like a ceiling, anytime you charge over $650 or whatever that number is, you always default back down to that number because you doubt yourself. Just practice saying $200, $300, $400 more than that. Just go in the mirror. Just be silly. Let yourself do it.
And every time you're practicing, you're setting that intention for that future version that's already charging that amount.
Because the version of you that already charges that says that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Without batting an eye or eyelash. Nope. What is the saying?
Without batting an eye, you're just saying your prices. And then it's like this idea of you gotta fake it till you make it a little bit. Because
Yes.
then your actions, then all of a sudden, when you get used to saying, I charge $2,000 for a day session, all of a sudden your work starts getting better, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, so charging higher prices anyway can really solve a lot of issues that tattooers that are coming up and trying to get to that next level have. So if you
I think that
charge
statement
more,
is so controversial.
is it
But
really?
it's true.
It's so
I
like
don't think
duh
it's
in my
controversial.
head.
I know. I don't think it's, but I think people think that that's controversial, that just charge more, but well,
Yeah.
I have to get better first. And it's like, well, maybe the truth is you're actually already undercharging. And so we're not saying charge more than you're worth. We're saying charge what you're actually worth.
Yeah.
And then notice how you feel this sense of agency, urgency to improve your work. And I noticed that also there's a weird phenomenon that when you start charging more, and I've talked to a lot of tattooers who charge like pretty high prices, they said that people tip more. And I don't think that's just a coincidence. I think people, one, when people pay more for something, they value it more. They
Yeah.
inherently do.
Yeah.
And something a coach said to me is when you pay more attention.
Yeah.
And so people really, they take better care of their tattoos.
Yes.
They
Yes.
appreciate them more because they made it. All of a sudden, it's not buying a tattoo, it's investing in a tattoo.
Yes, absolutely. And we really, when we are charging those higher prices, we get to create an experience instead of just do a tattoo. And
Yeah.
the transactional component of I'm doing a tattoo for you and you're walking away totally changes. And now it's that experience, it's that connection. It's I know your family, your people have come in with you to get tattoos.
Yeah.
You've had these 6-8 hour sessions, sometimes 10-hour sessions. You've come to conventions that I've been at to be able to represent what I've done on you. It's so much bigger and so much more than just here's this $150
Now,
tattoo.
what do you say to someone? Let's say you were coaching me and you're like, Ryan, I think you should raise your prices. And I said, Liz, I really want my tattoos to be available to more people that maybe don't make more money. What would you say to that person? What would you say to me? You're coaching me.
I would say that if you really want to connect to those people, one, just by lowering or having a lower price, you're not necessarily connecting to those people. Just because you lower your prices, now you're getting people that are price hunting and stuff like that. So ultimately, you're trying to reach out to the people that are going to value it. They have to see that, one, if you are going to do some kind of discounted thing, let's say that all of your followers and everybody that subscribes to your page over this year, you're going to give a tattoo away because you're so just in love with all these people that have supported you over years and it's an appreciation thing. Okay, well then do that to people that are going to see the value in it. Don't just throw it out there for anybody that really is just taking advantage of something. Like, make people work for something that is valuable that you are doing.
Right, it's not like you have some life-saving medication that
Yeah.
people need, right? But it's something that they want. And I think when you feel like you have to lower your prices to make your work more available to more people, I think you're actually undermining their value that they have for themselves. And you're not giving them an opportunity to make a really serious investment. I think I want everyone to have an opportunity to invest in themselves at all levels. And I have things that I charge $40 for and things that I charge $5,000 and things I charge $20,000 for, because I want people to have an opportunity to invest in themselves. And I think you're assuming that they can't afford it, when the reality is, if they really want it, when someone really wants
out a
it,
way to
they
afford
fucking
it.
figure it the fuck
Yeah.
out.
No, you're so right. And I've had clients that have been college students that really, really worked to save up the money. And they were paying for their own college too. It wasn't like, mommy and daddy are paying for it. Like they were really working hard. They were really trying to save that money. I've had people that have ridden the bus and public transportation to get to me. So they would have money to pay for their tattoo because they knew the value of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, ultimately, you have to see the value in what you're doing first.
As I always say to people, you're the first sale.
Yeah.
You have to be sold on that what you're doing is worth what you're charging it for. And if you're not sold on that your tattoos are worth $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 for a day rate, if you're not sold on that, then you can't sell anyone else on that either.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it starts internally. And when we shift internally, we naturally shift externally. We shift our actions, the way you treat your clients, the service you provide them, the detail and the level of care and love that you put into your work. It expands when you expand your own perceived value of the work that you do. Hands
Absolutely.
down, every time.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And then the next kind of part of that is, again, it's aligning to that future self, all of those other things that, well, how is this going to work out? It doesn't matter. It ends up working out. All of that plays into that as well, of just like, oh, I want to be a 3,000 a day rate kind of artist. All right. Well, all the other stuff, as long as you keep on focusing on that, like, what does that mean to you? What is that
even practice saying that in the mirror, even if you're not going to charge that for the next year or more. Practice saying that in the mirror, because then when you go and you charge $1,800, that's a piece of cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the whole, even like, let's say that, what does it take to do a $5,000 day? What are the things? If I just put that out there of like, I want to charge $5,000 for a day rate. Universe, what are the things that need to happen for this?
ChatGPT, what do I
do? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I love ChatGPT. I don't like that it takes up all the energy consumption and stuff like that, but I do love it. I'm definitely
I use it a lot.
Of
I think humans consume a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And AI is one of those, and I think it causes a lot of problems, but it also absolutely is solving a lot. And time will tell. Maybe in 5 years from now, I'll be looking back on what I'm saying and be like, oh my God. But my gut is that while it will disrupt a lot of things, it will cause, there's always the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And if we just focus on the positive, we will neglect the impact that it has. If we just focus on the impact, we'll never actually be able to benefit from what it does have to offer. And so I think it's about holding that, that two sides of the coin. I was going to ask a question. Being that you've been tattooing for 20 years, and I've talked to quite a lot of 20-year tattooers recently, I see people are getting to this point in their life where whatever they charge is whatever they charge, but they're realizing, man, I never made a game plan. I never thought I'd be 45, 50, 55 years old and still tattooing. I never thought that I'd be alive. I actually personally thought I'd never live past 25. And I remember when I got to be 26, that's when I got sober. I've been sober over 12 years. Because I turned 26, it's like, well, I didn't die. And so, shit, I was probably going to be 30, 35, 40 one day. That actually terrified me that I didn't die. And so that was what got me into like, all right, maybe I need a retirement plan or something like that. But is that, from your perspective, I'm sure you know other 20 plus year tattooers, what are you seeing? Are you seeing people thinking about that now? When are they thinking about it?
It is certainly different now than when I started. And, we have tattooers now that have been in it for a long time, and we've been able to kind of observe what they have and have not done. And it's easier now to be like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to live like that. I want to be prepared.
You know what we don't have a lot of? We don't have a lot of 55, 60, 65-year-old fully retired and comfortable tattoo artists. That's not what we have a lot of.
Yeah,
and
exactly
that was
right.
The fear that got me into doing the line of work that I do, is like 30 years from now, we're going to have a lot of tattoo artists that put their blood, sweat, and tears, their whole soul into this career. And what are they going to do at that point? And that terrified me for myself, but it terrifies me to think that there are tattooers out there that aren't going to
Oh
be
no,
able to, they're going to have to get another job or work at Walmart or something because they literally can't continue to tattoo.
no. In my apprenticeship, there was a gentleman like that, and it was hard to watch because he didn't want to do that next part that was necessary to be a part of the tattoo world at that moment in time, let alone the next one. And to really like set himself up to not have to go in and hustle a tattoo. And it was, I mean, I've always kind of sat back and had that conversation with myself of, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. Like, I saw my parents struggle with stuff. I don't want to do that. I saw my grandparents. I don't want to be that way. And the things that fear me, like, oh God, I don't want to be in a nursing home and alone. Yeah. I want to set myself up to be able to afford to pay for hospice in my own house even. And like, you know, I want to have somebody there. I want to
be able to travel. When I'm 80 years old, I want to be able to like go explore the world and have fun. I don't want to wait to do that either.
Yeah,
I want to have the financial security now to be able to do that. And I think for a lot of my tattoo career, it was just thinking, I was thinking tattoo to tattoo. Oh, and I was thinking end of the week, I knew I'd get paid, or I was getting paid every day or whatever it was. And so my mind thought in terms of weeks or even months. And I always invite people to really, I have something I call so there's your inner child, and then there's your inner elder. There's the 80-year-old version of you, and get to know them and ask them, hey, what should I do? Because their advice for you is going to be very different than the advice that you have for yourself in your head right now. And take some time to listen to what that version of you has to say, because they'll probably give you some really good advice. And it often isn't everything that you're doing right now.
No, you're totally true. And I'm listening to the 100-year-old version of myself because I'm like, I'm living to 100. I'm going for 100. I love life.
Why you're taking your vitamins.
This is why I'm taking so many vitamins. Yeah, like I told my husband, I'm like, I'm actually living to be 101. He can be 100. After that, we can go.
After that, like, you're allowed. You're off the hook.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are, very much things that are on my mind and like what that looks like and how that changes. And we have lots of friends that have, friends that are also mentors for us that we look up to and we listen to, and how they've managed their finances and what they've done and the different levels of, those kind of things. So anything we look at.
To surround, it sounds like you've surrounded yourself, whether it was intentionally or synchronistically, but you've surrounded yourself with people that are doing what you want to be doing in some way, shape, or form. And I think the people you surround yourself with plays such a huge role in the direction that your life starts to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we are going to start to wrap up, but I would love just what's a last, golden nugget or something that you want to leave tattooers with, something that they can think about that might give them a new perspective or a new mindset on themselves, their career, their passion. Honestly,
Ryan, I think it goes back to what you said. There's no rules. Make up your own.
There's no fucking rules. Yeah. I think that needs to be on a billboard somewhere,
Yeah. Let's make some memes.
Let's make some memes, yeah. There's no rules. Whatever rules you think there are in tattooing, someone has eventually broken those rules and showed you that, well, there is this other way, and then new rules were created, and then you can break those rules. And I think there's, just let go of the idea that there even needs to be rules.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, Liz, thank you so much. Where can people find out about you and your work and any programs? How can people learn more?
So I have 2 sites for tattooing and regular kind of seminar on the go convention stuff is lizcooktattoo.com. And then for any of the educational stuff, like the coaching and the mentor, it is candidcolortattoos.com.
Awesome. And on Instagram, just Liz Cook?
Liz Cook Tattoo.
Liz Cook Tattoo. We'll put
On
some
TikTok,
links
on Facebook.
on TikTok. I have not leaned heavily into TikTok. I've really focused my efforts on Instagram, and I've been heavily rewarded for that. But I do know that TikTok is, someone told me a while ago, he's like, don't sleep on it. And I did sleep on it. And over the past year, I've been just repurposing stuff I do on Instagram. But I've been noticing through consistency, and only through consistency, I've actually noticed we're getting some more clients, we're getting some more impact through that platform. Yeah.
I think the platforms are absolutely generational. The clients that I get from Facebook, that's a certain type of generation. Instagram, different. TikTok, totally different generation. So who knows what the next is going to be and how it's all going to change.
But
right
soon,
now,
the TikTok will be the old generation. And then, like you said, there'll be something new. So it feels like a lot to keep up with, but I always tell people, if I have some structure and some system in place that supports me in doing it, anything's possible.
Yeah, just make the system, make it work for you, and no rules.
No rules. Awesome. Liz, thank you so much for coming and
it was a
sharing
pleasure.
your wisdom. And I hope our paths cross again soon. All right, if you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support, so I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.